Welcome to our webinar presented by Flamel AI, covering social strategy session for multi-location brands specifically. Um, I am Zach. I lead the sales team here at Flamel. And then we've got Bridget, our head marketer, as well. I'm going to be
Yeah.
covering a lot today, specifically around organic and paid social for franchise and multi-location brands. So we can kind of hop in here, and Bridget can take us away.
All right. Yeah. So we're doing this all because local brand pages are really great for business. They drive 3 times more the engagement and 23% more revenue. So, especially on that last answer, everybody wants more revenue, right? So, the way that Flamel AI helps brands do that is by marketing at the individual local level while maintaining brand standards across all those different locations. Zach, do you have any follow up with that?
Yeah, I would just say, obviously, your corporate accounts and corporate locations are great for driving brand awareness, but as far as kind of actual conversion, that's where that local engagement comes in. Obviously, tailoring the message to that community is very important, and the data shows that between the engagement increases and also the increase in revenue as well. So that's kind of the core philosophy behind the strategy we're going to go over today.
Yeah, and one of the things I often think about is I belong to a fitness class gym, and that gym, they just have the national page. They don't even have the localized page, and just how much I would love to have that local page to know, for example, they have Taylor Swift's here in town this weekend. They have Taylor Swift themed classes. I don't really know how to access that, through, say, Instagram or anything to learn what news is going on. I have to look at the board at the gym. So, how nice would it be? I would sign up for more of those classes had I had that opportunity. So, anyway, just kind of providing those personalized experiences at the location level is what we're aiming to do. So yeah, and with that, of course, that turns each location into a marketing engine. And the guide that you downloaded, the multi-location brand strategy guide for social, we go through brand visuals, copywriting, organic and paid social strategy, and preferred partner lists. So we'll take you through that today. Up first, we have our brand guidelines guide sheet. So on this visual guide, this is really what is supposed to, when you think of your brand, what does it look like from a visual perspective? And in this, we go through photography down here on the lower left. We also talk through, graphics and graphic design here. You can put in some examples of wonderful graphics and photos down here, along with your brand logos, colors, your color palette. For example, this is Flamel's color palette, and your fonts here as well. Next, we have our copywriting guide. And just like in our brand visual guide, where we talked about what your brand looks like, this is what your brand sounds like. So in this, of course, you can leave your slogans here. You can also link to digital assets, such as press releases, blog posts, things like that, that would give your franchisees great ideas of what your brand sounds like from a copywriting perspective. So for the example that I put together for this book, I created this sushi restaurant, this bold, bombastic sushi restaurant. So I put in words we like bright, colorful, slang words. Bombastic is one I use too. And then also words to stay away from, because that's important as well. So for my brand that I made up, you stay away from things like simple, plain, traditional, because that's not really on brand, right? So these guides allow your franchisees to see, these are the words, these are the feelings that we want to emulate, and these are the ones that we want to stay away from. And additionally, I also have an emojis preferences area where you can put those preferences in as well. So organic social, Zach, can you give us a quick pitch on what Flamel does for organic social?
Yeah, of course. So Flamel helps multi-location brands manage organic social at scale. So both from the corporate kind of one to many, we have, we just got through Halloween. We have a corporate Halloween post that's going to every page. One to many post, one click, it goes to all 200 locations. What we really strive for, though, is localizing content. So we help the Zor team drive localized content to the franchisees, because the franchisees, they aren't professional marketers. They aren't, there to ideate themselves and sit there and think about what to post. So driving that kind of what we call post concepts that are on brand, that are built out from the corporate team at the Zor level to the Z's to execute, so that we can get more engagement and just drive better organic social overall to each community that we're in.
Yeah, so as a guide to help with that, we put together this organic social strategy where franchisors can guide where you want your franchisees to post. Say, like you have a very visual brand, you may want them to post on Instagram or Pinterest, for example. And then below, you can talk about the types of posts and how often you want them to post, whether they're carousels, videos, photos, and you can select in here the mix of, do you want to say post one carousel a week and you want to post photos, every other week or something like that, you can make those selections. So regarding that sushi brand that I said that I made up for this booklet, this is actually a photo frame where you can drag and drop, a great example of an organic social post for your brand, just to guide your franchisees on what looks good, what sounds good, and give some inspiration for them to post themselves. And additionally, we just have some more guidance over here for posting types and frequency. And then over here, we have a social content calendar. So you can go in, and Flamel AI created posts for every single day throughout the whole month of October. So it really gives you ideas and inspiration on how to say, like, post people at individual locations, post menu updates for this example, post polls on how to really get some of that audience engagement going and to get people excited about your brand and participating with your individual location online. Paid social as well, similar to what Zach was saying with organic, Flamel did just launch our paid social ads concept too. So similar to our organic social, very similar in fact, we have a photo frame here where you can upload a example of a paid social ad, and then where you advertise and how often. Zach, do you have anything else you'd like to add about our paid social program?
Yeah, I would just say, obviously, paid social, the strategy is really important because you're actually putting real dollars and not just hours behind it from your team. So it's really important to, have those detailed analytics, which that's where we come in. Our AI platform is going to guide you once you've gotten started. It is able to ingest all of that information and kind of suggest the best type, the best times, and maybe even potentially the right dollar amount behind to put behind some of these ads. But really, in this guide is to help with the strategy side, and then our platform helps with the execution.
Yeah. So moving on throughout this paid social strategy. So if you let your franchisees run your own ads, this sheet really helps you to be able to direct them on how to do that. So in the upper left, you'll see advertising objectives. You can talk about, do you want your franchisees to drive traffic to your site, to their individual sites? Do you want to, say, drive just top level, top of funnel brand awareness? Or do you want to get as niche as, say, increasing online sales? Let's say that you have a special promotion going on. This is where you can make those selections, and you can also talk about who to target with those ads. So of course, every brand, and even to the campaign level, certain campaigns may have slightly different audience targets, but you can specify those here, across age, gender, location, and interests. And then you can also add some additional notes just to give some more clarity to franchisees on who you want to advertise to. Now, of course, a lot of brands advertise with Facebook and Instagram on Meta, and this is really your guide, this half of the page. If you do that, that can help franchisees understand your approach. So you can talk about the types of ads per platform, and then your recommended spend, how long to run your ads, and what types of ads in terms of media that you run. And then this next page, if you don't allow franchisees to run their own ads, you can just fill this page out with very similar items on how you run your ads, just to give them some awareness of what's going on and to kind of keep them clued in on your advertising strategy. And then finally, community management. I've been in social media managing pages for almost a decade at this point. And one of the most important things is to engage with people. Of course, it's social media. You want it to be social. This is your page where you can guide your franchisees on how to do that. So, you can talk about how to, say, reply to comments, whether they're positive or negative, and how to handle that, how to moderate content. Let's say you may have had a super positive review. How do you like it? What do you say? Do you thank people? You can give guidance here. And also at the same time, let's say somebody had to, wait a long time to at my fake sushi restaurant, they had to wait a long time to get their food and they left kind of a negative review. How would you advise your franchisees to respond to that? This is your place to do that. So we have notes over here on the left where you can write those guidelines in, and also some hashtags that you use for your brand. I know everybody targets a ton of different types of hashtags, and you may have your own for your brand. This is your spot to add them. And then, user-generated content is golden. So, of course, we would advise to incorporate some of that into your organic social mix. So let's say, you may have some people, influencers locally that you might want to repost, or maybe not even types of, individual people, but types of people. Let's say there's some great family photos of people having dinner at your restaurant. You can repost those. And even on this page, we guide what that should look like down here below, where you can upload some sample posts to give some inspiration for your franchisees on what to look out for. And then also in this section, I did include a preferred partners list. So of course, every business is working with a bunch of other businesses. And in case your franchisees need to reach out or consult anybody, this is your place to give them a guide to do that. So any agencies or tech platforms that you work with, you can list them here. Also creative resources such as stock photography sites and freelance contacts. All right, Zach, you want to take it away?
Yeah, of course. I'll open up, see if we have any questions here before we wrap up for today. I'll see if anyone chats in a question here in the chat. While I'm waiting for that, just wanted to say, really this guidebook can be a great resource for your franchisees. Kind of give them that comprehensive look at the brand, and then the organic and the paid social, and then obviously having the preferred vendors on there as well. Have that reference point for the franchisees to really give them that support they need to run their business well, and to help you succeed in the long run as an org. And then additionally, like we talked about, this is more on the strategy side. Flamel AI, we really do help with the execution of both the organic and the paid social, as well as like media distribution to your franchisees. There is a QR code on the screen there, as well as an email address. You can scan that QR code. We are happy to walk through a strategy session with you to fill out the guidebook, or if you already have your strategy and are looking more for that execution, that is definitely a place where we can run through a demo with you, show you exactly how we help other franchise systems. And you can schedule a quick intro call there, or just email us directly. But it doesn't look like we have any questions here today, so we'll wrap up. We appreciate you all joining here for our webinar. We will be having monthly webinars, so look out for the next one here in the next month or so. And hope you all have been able to learn something here on the strategy and the execution of your social. Thanks.
All right, thanks everyone.